Hi everyone, welcome to our day one training session of 30-day learning Oracle Goldengate challenge. My name is Ashish Agarwal, and I'll be delivering this lecture to you. So before commencing the session, just a quick round of update regarding my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Ashish Agarwal _GG. So if you haven't visited the channel, I would request you to do visit the channel and do like, share and subscribe the channel. The channel is dedicated to Oracle Goldengate related videos. Now, this is day one of our 30-day learning Oracle Goldengate challenge. Now, why I name it as 30-day learning Goldengate challenge is because it's a 30-day challenge in which we are going to learn a lot in and out of Goldengate. This course will start from basics. So basically we are going to start with download and installation of Oracle Goldengate, and then we'll move to step by step, we'll move to advanced concepts. So this training will help you in growing your Goldengate status in your environment. Goldengate knowledge will increase, and this is completely practical. So we are going to do a lot of practicals. Exciting journey awaits you now in learning. So let us start. So Oracle Goldengate. So first of all, because this is first session, so let me introduce myself to you. So I'm expert in Oracle Goldengate and Oracle database, different technologies, including database administration, RAC, ASM, and DataGuard. So I have 17 plus years of experience in Goldengate and 15 plus years of training experience. So I should say 17 plus years of experience in Goldengate and 15 plus years of training experience. So guys, I am working on Goldengate since before Oracle overtook it. Before it was Oracle Goldengate, I'm working on Goldengate. Now, I did my first training session in 2009, and so far I have trained almost 8200 plus trainees and taken 280 plus corporate batches so far. And the feedback which I have received related to the training has been very good. I have my own YouTube channel as well, which is dedicated to Oracle Goldengate related videos, as I showed you. So that channel is only channel in this world which has only Oracle Goldengate related videos. There is no other content which is shared over that channel. So I have various high rated courses available like Oracle Goldengate Classic Architecture, Microservices, and Veridata. I'm blogger and speaker in different Oracle communities. I have presented my paper in OOW. I have also, I'm also regular speaker in North America Oracle user group and different communities as well. So for any questions, issues, my email ID is ashishagarwalag@gmail.com. You can tweet me your queries as well at Ashish Agarwal AG, or I should say you can now X me your queries at Ashish Agarwal AG, and this is my YouTube channel. So this 30-day learning Goldengate challenge, why I name it like that is with each session we are going to have certain tasks and challenges. Upon completion of those challenges, what I expect you to do is I expect you to perform those challenges tasks in the working environment, because as I told you, this is practical training. So with this training, I expect you to perform those tasks, and that will make or that will take your stature to the next level. Okay. So let us discuss about agenda of Oracle Goldengate training. So in this training, I have just summarized the agenda, but we are going to discuss lot more than this. So in this section, we are going to discuss about, first of all, introduction to Oracle Goldengate. Then we'll discuss about architecture. So architecture is pretty important of Goldengate. So we'll be discussing about Oracle Goldengate architecture as well. Then we'll discuss about Oracle Goldengate 21C new feature. So the latest version of Goldengate right now, which is used in market, is 21C. So 21C is the latest version which is widely used. Oracle has launched, just for your information, guys, the latest version around a few days back. Oracle has launched this 23 AI as well. They have named as a, so now they have moved from G until 11. It was G. Then from 12 onwards, they moved to C. And now from 23 onwards, they have moved to AI. So database 23 AI is also launched, and Goldengate 23 AI is also launched. Subsequently, I'll be upgrading the course content, but as of now, that product is not tested yet, and it is not market tested as well. Like no customers are using it. Hence, we'll be still doing our course on Goldengate 21C. So 21C is the latest version in the market right now, which is used by organizations. So we'll be discussing about that. Then Golden Gate upgradation from one version to another. We'll discuss about installation, different concepts and components related to Oracle Golden Gate. Then how to perform DML replication using Oracle Golden Gate from one database to another database. So one of the major thing with Golden Gate is it performs the DML replication. So DML replication means is whenever you do insert, update and delete, so which requires exclusive commit. So those transactions can be replicated from one database to another database. Now, how to perform initial load using Oracle Golden Gate, we'll discuss. Now, one of the major feature of Oracle Golden Gate is you can pick and choose what you want to replicate. So in Golden Gate, how to perform data filtration and also transformation. So the one of the major capability of Golden Gate is doing data transformation. So data transformation means is, say for example, on source, you have got two columns, salary and commission, and on target you have salary column. You want that addition of and salary and commission should be replicated to target salary column. You can do that. Now, another advantage with Golden Gate is it supports bidirectional configuration as well. Bidirectional means both the sites will be live. Then Golden Gate supports bidirectional auto CDR as well. So auto CDR means there are different in Golden Gate, both the sites can be live. So it's not like one-way replication, it can be two-way replication as well. Golden Gate will allow you to do that. Then you have bidirectional auto CDR. Bidirectional auto CDR means conflict detection and resolution. You can it can take care of. Then it also performs DDL replication. So DDL replication means is it will also allow you to perform like alter, modify, etc. if you require to. If so, Golden Gate has capability not to perform only DML replication, but it also has capability to perform DDL replication as well. So DDL means alter, modify, add, all those things. Then in this training, we'll be covering performance tuning as well as troubleshooting as well. So how to monitor the lag. If lag comes, how do you troubleshoot how do you monitor the lag? How do you manage the lag in your environment? Then troubleshooting. We'll be creating a lot of scenarios during the training and you will understand. So during the training, we'll also discuss about how to use Golden Gate as a business intelligence product. So one of the major use case of Golden Gate nowadays is, or not nowadays, it's since beginning of Golden Gate is, Golden Gate is also used as business intelligence product along with Informatica and ODI. So how is Golden Gate used for that? We'll be discussing about that. Then Golden Gate checkpoint, we'll be discussing how to configure security in Golden Gate environment. Now, Golden Gate major or Golden Gate selling feature is its replication. So replicating data from one data center to another data center, of replicating data from one database to another database, right? So Golden Gate can replicate the data from one database to another database as well. So now if the data is getting transferred over TCP IP network, so you have to ensure that data is always secure. So how to configure Golden Gate security we'll be discussing. Then parameters and parameter file in Oracle Golden Gate. This is the most important topic of this training, which we'll be discussing. Then log dump utility, how to read the trail file, how to understand the trail file, we'll be discussing here. Then performance tuning, as I mentioned. Now latest features like parallel Replicat, heartbeat table, performance metric server, Golden Gate self-describing trail files, and Golden Gate unified build support. So lot of things we are going to discuss during this training part. Okay. So let us start our day one session. So this agenda is not the only agenda. This is the summary of the agenda which we'll be discussing, but we'll be discussing much more than that during our training. This training will help you a lot in paving your path towards becoming Golden Gate expert. Now, in day one session, so today is day one of 30-day learning Golden Gate challenge. So in this session, we are going to discuss about introduction to Oracle Golden Gate, overview of Oracle Goldengate. Now, many people have questioned that what is the use of Oracle Goldengate? Some think that it is data guard replacement, or something that data guard is replacement of Oracle Goldengate. So we'll be discussing about overview of Oracle Goldengate. Then we'll be discussing about different types of architectures available in Oracle Goldengate. Now, if you have joined this training, so you must have understood, like I mentioned, this is Oracle Goldengate classic architecture training. So what is classic architecture? What are different types of extracts and replicats available in Goldengate? So I'll be discussing that as well. Then we'll be discussing about setting up the virtual boxes and training guidelines as well in the first session. Okay. So let us start the session. So guys, if you have any question during the session, feel free to post your question in the chat window. Also with this session, I'll be also providing you chance to ask the question. So say for example, if you have a question at a particular time, I just want you to hold that, because your question, the chances are that question will might be answered automatically with my next sentence which I'm speaking. Or what I do is, even if you think your question is not answered, I'll give you regular chance to ask the questions. Or if your question is pretty urgent, please post your question in the chat window and I'll answer that question. Okay. So in this training related to the performance tuning, we'll be discussing about Golden Gate performance tuning, not database or SQL performance tuning, Golden Gate performance tuning. How can you improve Golden Gate performance? Okay. So if you have any question, feel free to post your questions in the chat window, or I'll give you a chance to ask the question. So Golden Gate is a product basically which which is coupled with the database. So Golden Gate works with homogeneous as well as heterogeneous databases as well. So homogeneous means Oracle, and heterogeneous means different databases apart from Oracle, like DB2, SQL Server, Postgres, MongoDB, and other databases. So Golden Gate supports homogeneous as well as heterogeneous databases. Now, let me tell you the history of Golden Gate before we move to Oracle database architecture. So Golden Gate was founded in 1995 and it was named after San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. Now, initially when it was launched, it was a standalone company. It was Golden Gate. It wasn't Oracle Golden Gate at that time. It was Golden Gate. In 2009, Oracle overtook it, and since then it is known as Oracle Golden Gate. Now, since the time Oracle has acquired this product, Oracle Golden Gate, since it has become Oracle Golden Gate, there has been a lot of changes which has been introduced. Initially, Golden Gate was launched for ATM databases, but now the support for Golden Gate has now increased to multiple databases, including Informix database, NoSQL databases as well. Okay, so now let us move forward. So Golden Gate is basically a CDC tool. CDC stands for change data capture. So it means that whatever changes are happening in the source database, Golden Gate will capture it and will replicate it to target database. Okay. So first of all, let us discuss about Oracle database architecture. So the thing is, Golden Gate is a product which captures the data from the database. So from database, where does it capture those changes from? How does Golden Gate gets the data? We'll discuss now about that. So let us discuss about Oracle database architecture. So Oracle database architecture is divided into two parts: instance and database files. Now instance again is divided into two parts: SGA and background processes. So your SGA includes library cache, data dictionary cache, database buffer cache, Java pool, redo log buffer, and large pool. Your background processes include pmon, smon, database writer, log writer, checkpoint, and there are other processes as well. Then Oracle database files contains data files, control files, and redo log files. And then you have archive log files on the disk. So data files are the files which are the actual files, which actually store the data for you. So say for example, on source, or say for example, you do select star from employee. So where do you get that information? So suppose you log into SQL developer or Toad and you do select star from employee table. So when you do that, whatever output you get, from where do you get that output from? So you get that output from the data files, database data files. Now control files are the critical files. They store the metadata information. So they store data about data. So they are the most critical file and they store data about data. Then redo log files are the files which contains the changes. Whatever changes are happening in the database, the copy of those changes is stored in the redo log files. And then once your redo log files are full, the backup of redo log files are taken on disk and they get returned into archive log files. So this is about Oracle database files. Now let us talk about instance. So how does redo log file? So basically Goldengate retrieves the changes from redo log files or archive log files where the changes are residing. But how does these redo log files or archive log files get the data from? So what happens is your redo log files basically gets the data from your redo log buffer. So what happens is, say for example, you update a record. You do update department name equal to XYZ, where department number equal to 1. So what will happen? The buffer which is changed, it is called as dirty buffer. So you change the transaction, that becomes a dirty buffer. So any update, delete, whatever it happens, it is called as a dirty buffer. That dirty buffer gets returned into the database buffer cache. Now from here, the change data will get returned into the data files with help of database writer. However, the copy of that change gets returned into the redo log file as well. So the dirty buffer, whatever dirty buffer you have, that dirty buffer gets returned into redo log file, redo log buffer as well. The copy of that gets returned into the redo log buffer as well. Now with help of log writer process, the data from redo log buffer gets returned into redo log file. So basically redo log file gets the data from redo log buffer with help of the log writer process. So log writer process writes the data into redo log file whenever there is a commit. So when commit happens, data gets returned into redo log files, or when redo log buffer is 1/3 full, or when there is 1 MB of redo, or every 3 seconds, or before database writer process writes the data to the data files. So before database writer process will write the data to the data file, the data from redo log buffer gets returned into redo log file. And once the redo log file gets full, the data from redo log file gets flushed to archive log files. It gets flushed to archive log files on the system, on the disk. So Oracle Goldengate basically receives the changes or read the changes from redo log files or archive log files. So in case, so every database has the log files which contains the change data. So remember one thing, this redo log files or backup of read. So archive log files are nothing but backup of redo log files. So whatever data gets returned into redo log file, once it gets backed up, it gets backed up into archive log files. So this redo log file or archive log files are called as transaction logs of the Oracle database. Each database has its own log files where the change data gets written. Like in case of SQL Server, MySQL, those are called as transaction logs. However, in case of Oracle, those transaction logs are called as redo log files or backup of redo log files, which are called as archive log files. Okay. So Goldengate receives or Goldengate reads the data from the log files, these redo log files or archive log files, and then capture those changes and apply the data. Now the question which I get, it is a database question, but the question which I get from people is, what is the use of these redo log files? Why does data gets written from redo log buffer to redo log file? What is the use of this? Is there any specific reason? So the reason is they are used for redo purpose. So say for example, I'll give you one scenario that should help in understanding. That should help you in understanding. Say for example, you went to a bank. Okay. Currently your bank balance is $10,000 or 10,000 rupees. Okay. Now you deposited 10,000, you deposited $15,000 more into your account. Okay. So the updated balance should be 25,000. So what you did, you gave that $15,000 to the cashier. Cashier took the money. She did gave you the receipt, and in front end through the application, she deposited the money. But before that amount from before that amount could be updated to 25,000 from $10,000, the server crashed, database server crashed, or there is some power failure. So what will happen? When you see your account, it will still show you $10,000 and there is no way. So basically the cashier did it, but before the transaction could be returned into the database, before that, the database crashed. So what will happen in that scenario is your database, when you see your bank account, it will still show $10,000. And being a customer, your hard-earned money will not show in your bank balance. What this will trigger is, this will trigger outrage among customers. The customers will become unhappy, right? So how to resolve this? So what happens here is, say for example, in the front end, she deposited 15,000 rupees, and before it could be returned into the data file, basically your server crashed. So what happens is, when the database comes up, it redos the log files, reduce the logs, basically apply the logs which were not returned to database while the database was rebooted. Since the database rebooted or crashed, hence some of the logs were not applied to the database. Hence, during the startup, what it will do is, it will redo those logs. Basically, it will apply those logs. It will do the recovery. So the purpose of these redo log files or archive log files at the database level is to perform the recovery. In case of any transaction is missed due to server crash or reboot or unplanned reboot, I should say. So during that time, for recovery purpose, these redo log files or archive log files are used for redoing the transaction. Okay, so this is the whole purpose. Now, apart from that, they are used by change data captures like Goldengate or any other change data capture tool. It uses these transactions. Okay, now Oracle database itself is very big topic. If I talk about Oracle database for 8 hours, I believe that may be less as well. But I'm talking only about what is Goldengate related in Oracle database architecture. So Oracle database, in basically Goldengate is a change data capture tool which captures the changes. How does it capture the changes? It captures the changes by reading redo log files or archive log files. So whatever changes are written into these files, Goldengate will capture it. Now let me tell you one more thing. There is a misconception among us. Us means DBA community, that redo log files or archive log files contains only committed transactions. That's not true. Your redo log files and archive log files contains committed as well as uncommitted transactions. I again repeat, your redo log files or archive log files contains committed as well as uncommitted transactions. However, Goldengate, so there is a misconception that it contains only committed. That's not true. It contains committed as well as both uncommitted transactions. However, Goldengate captures only committed transactions by reading the transaction logs of the database. This we'll be discussing regarding Golden Gate part. We'll be discussing as the session, as the training moves on. Okay. Okay. So this is about Oracle database architecture. Now, different data replication tools are available in the market. So following is the list of solutions available. Like there is SharePlex available in the market. Attunity is there. Then there is one AWS tool, DMZ. Then there are EMC Recover Point, IBM Mirror, Hitachi True Copy, HP's Continuous Access is there, Symantec Veritas is there, Data Core, Sun Symphony is there. But the nearest competitor of Golden Gate is SharePlex or Attunity as well. But by nearest competitor, you can consider how Golden Gate has captured the market is the market share of Golden Gate as per recent data release was 96%. And remaining 4% was covered by Attenuity, SharePlex, and different other replication tools. I was expecting this question. Now there is one question. Data guard. Data guard market is huge. So how can Golden Gate cover 96%? Wow, very good question. Does anyone else has this question? So guys, the question is, Data guard is also the competitor of Oracle Golden Gate. So are you sure that 96% is consumed or covered by Oracle Golden Gate? Does anyone else has this question? Okay. So the thing here is Golden Gate and Data Guard are not competitors. I always call it like you can compare apple to orange, apple to apple, but you cannot compare apple and oranges, right? Same thing applies to Golden Gate and Data Guard. What capability Golden Gate has, Data Guard doesn't have. Or there are some capability which are there with Data Guard, which Golden Gate might not be able to achieve, or which Golden Gate doesn't have. So Golden Gate is not a replacement of Data Guard, nor Data Guard is replacement of Oracle Golden Gate. I have few webinars as well, which I did comparison between Data Guard and Golden Gate. It's available on my YouTube channel as well. If you want to watch, do watch it. But the thing is, Data Guard and Golden Gate are not competitors of each other. And another thing you can consider, Data Guard is a free tool. Active Data Guard, yes, Oracle charges, but license wise, it's not that costly. But when we compare Golden Gate is very pretty costly too. So there must be a reason why, right? So Golden Gate and Data Guard cannot be compared. Remember one thing. Okay. Now, Perumal, you are absolutely right what you are saying. But apart from that, there are a lot of things also involved. What Perumal is mentioning is Data Guard is full database, complete replication. However, GG you can replicate whatever you want with Golden Gate. Yes, that is one of the things. You can pick and choose that as well. Okay. So now there are different competitors of Golden Gate, but the major competitor of Golden Gate is SharePlex and Attenity. But still, Golden Gate scores above its competitor on lot of front. Golden Gate scores above its competitors. Like why Golden Gate? So there are technical reasons as well as financial compelling reasons as well. Why Golden Gate? Why Golden Gate scores above its competitors? So why Golden Gate? So first of one of the main reason for Golden Gate is with Golden Gate, data is sent in real time with sub-second latency. So it means that Golden Gate replicates the data in near real time with sub-second latency. So as soon as data gets committed on source, it gets applied on the target database with minimum lag. So say for example on source, it gets committed at 10 p.m. So it will be applied on target database within seconds. So it's a near real time replication. Apart from that, Golden Gate supports heterogeneous databases or environments across different databases and hardware types. So with Golden Gate, the major advantage is your source can be any Oracle or non-Oracle database. Same way, your source can be any platform, like it can be Linux on source, Sun Solaris on target, Windows on source, HP Unix on target. Golden Gate can replicate the data without any issues. Another thing is your database versions can be different between source and target. So a source can be 10G, target can be 19C. Your source can be 21C, target can be 18C. Golden Gate can replicate the data with minimum. Golden Gate can replicate the data without any issues. Now, Golden Gate also delivers high performance with low impact. Now, what happens here is Golden Gate, the performance it delivers, Golden Gate performance is too high. Like the performance which it delivers and the impact it has is very low. So Golden Gate allows you. So I'll tell you one thing. We'll be understanding it in next few slides as well. So there is a not misconception or conception as well. Or I always say one thing. See, Golden Gate is a product which is external to the database, right? It's not a product which is internal to the database. So any product which is coming external to the database will have will definitely have some impact. You cannot consider no impact product, right? So I always say one thing, Golden Gate impact is very low, and especially with the introduction of this integrated extract, the impact it has on source database is very low. And it delivers high performance. So the performance which it delivers, the impact it has in comparison is pretty less. Okay. Oracle, another thing I'll tell you is when you talk to Oracle, Oracle will tell it it's a no impact product. I always say it's an impact product, even though the impact may be very minute and not traceable. But yes, it's a product which is external to the database and it will definitely have some impact. Then Golden Gate has ability to move large volume of data very efficiently. So Golden Gate can move your glob, large objects as well without any issues and no single point of failure. So troubleshooting of Golden Gate is pretty easy. So there are technical reasons why Golden Gate scores above its competitors. Apart from that, there are financial reasons as well. Financial reasons means that many organizations, what they do is they sign EULA with Oracle. EULA means end user license agreement. Now Golden Gate separately is a costly product. It costs a lot for an organization, right? But when they sign end user license agreement with Oracle, depending on terms and condition, they are free to use Oracle Golden Gate on any number of database servers. Like Golden Gate license is based on number of database codes. So when you sign end user license agreement based on terms and condition, you can use Oracle Golden Gate. So what happens is because sub Golden Gate adds lot of value to an organization. So organization chooses Golden Gate and it helps them a lot. So now this is the financial reason, like they have licenses, that's why they have to use Golden Gate, and that's why they have to hire people, right? So if they have Golden Gate licenses and if they want to use this, then they need people who can work on it. So that's why Golden Gate is getting very popular. And that's why you must be seeing like there are a lot of jobs related to Oracle Golden Gate. In fact, all the database related jobs, they ask for Golden Gate now. Okay. Now, there is a question. Sagar has a question, bidirectional GG capable to replicate complete database. So remember one thing, Golden Gate can replicate your application schemas. It cannot replicate your sys and system schemas. Okay. So there is a question or sentence, committed transactions will be rolled forwarded. Uncommitted transaction will be rolled back. Now, Rakesh has a question. Does it support with cross OS replication like Windows to Linux or vice versa, or Solaris to Unix and vice versa? Absolutely. So that is the major advantage with Golden Gate. Golden Gate is platform independent. So your source can be any platform, target can be any platform. Golden Gate can replicate the data without any issues. Now Sylvain has a question. Can we replicate from GG Hub 19C to another GG Hub 21C? Yes. With Golden Gate, you can, there is no requirement or no restrictions, I should say. So you can replicate that. Okay. Now Rohit has a question, which condition extract process read data from redo log file or archive log file? This question is too early to answer. This question will be answered for you once we do the replication. Okay. Can availability be achieved from Golden Gate? So Golden Gate, yes, it ensures that your databases are highly available. We'll discuss. Okay. Now, why Golden Gate? Golden Gate complements existing Oracle products like continuous availability for heterogeneous database systems. Like it ensures that your databases are highly available. Say for example, your primary database is kept in Dallas, secondary is kept in New York, and there is some power failure or flood in data center on source, Boston. So what you can do, or what application then can do, is it can quickly switch over their application to the secondary site so that their databases are highly available. So real-time data access for reporting. You can use target database for reporting purpose. It can be in read-write mode and you can use it for reporting purpose as well. So then real-time data for business intelligence, EPM, Exadata. So Golden Gate along with ODI is one of the best business intelligence tool available in the market. And then Golden Gate is also used for zero downtime upgradation and migration. So nowadays what organizations do is they they just take Golden Gate licenses and for zero downtime upgradation and migration purpose. So what they do is they will, because Golden Gate is costly, right? So what they do is they will take short-term Golden Gate license and they will do zero down. They will use those licenses for zero downtime upgradation and migration as well. Okay. So Golden Gate is now used in lot of domains. So primary domain of Golden Gate was until 2020 was financial domain, banking domain, or telecommunication domain. But now Golden Gate presence is being felt in multiple domains like ATM networks, then financial data service companies, food and drug store, lot of places Golden Gate is now used. So Golden Gate ensures your databases are highly available. Golden Gate is used for zero downtime upgradation and migration. It is used for live reporting. The target system database could be used for live reporting, and Golden Gate can also be used for business intelligence purposes. So this is the old list, but the capture of Golden Gate, like capture means capturing the data, the source database can be Oracle, IBM DB2, Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, Ingress, Teradata, Nscribe. So Golden Gate was initially designed for this Nscribe database. Later on, its support was increased to a lot of other databases. Okay, so let me take few more questions from the chat. So correct me if I'm wrong. There is a question from Anand. Correct me if I'm wrong. Committed and uncommitted transactions are present in archive. Then why rollback committed transaction while rollback in Oracle architecture? Can you please explain here? So the thing is, there are committed as well as uncommitted transactions, both in the transaction logs of the database. Golden Gate will capture only committed transaction. It is not going to capture your uncommitted transactions until they are rolled back or get committed. They will stay there, but Golden Gate will not capture those until those are committed. Golden Gate will capture. So database concept remains same. With introduction of Golden Gate, it's not like the database concept is changing. No, database concept will remain as is. So even there is Golden Gate or there is no Golden Gate, the concept will remain same. The database log files will have committed as well as uncommitted transaction. It's just that Golden Gate works on the database committed transaction. It captures only database committed transaction. It will not capture those uncommitted transaction. Golden Gate will not do anything else. Okay. Do we have migration concepts like MySQL to Oracle, Postgres to Oracle, Windows to Oracle? So you can use Golden Gate for like performing the initial load from MySQL to Oracle, Postgres to Oracle. Yes, Golden Gate can be used widely for that. Okay. Now, in business intelligence, how GG is used, we'll be discussing. Again, too early. This is our introduction session. So we'll be answering all those questions as the session moves on. Okay. Now, let us discuss about different architectures of Oracle Golden. Now, the thing is, at the starting of the session, I told you this is classic architecture training. So this is classic architecture. Once classic architecture is done, we'll be moving to microservices and then to Veridata. So this training will cover all three things: classic architecture, microservices, and Veridata, but different courses. So first classic architecture will start and cover, complete. Then microservices will start and complete, and then Veridata will start and complete. So let us have architectural overview of Golden Gate. What are the different types of architectures available in Oracle Golden Gate? So basically, as I told you, Golden Gate was founded in 1995 and it was acquired by Oracle in 2009. Now from 2009 to 2017, there was only one way to configure Oracle Golden Gate, and that was through command prompt, GGSCI. Right. So that GGSCI based architecture until 2017 was called as Oracle Golden Gate. In 2017, Oracle renamed it to Oracle Golden Gate Classic Architecture. It renamed it to Oracle Golden Gate Classic Architecture. So Oracle Golden Gate Classic Architecture allows you to set up, manage, troubleshoot, configure Golden Gate through command prompt, GGSCA, and allows for setting up Oracle Golden Gate or managing Oracle Golden Gate through GUI, through command prompt itself. Okay. Now, in 2017, Oracle launched a new architecture of Golden Gate, which is called as Microservices Architecture. So Oracle Golden Gate Microservices Architecture allows you to set up, manage, troubleshoot, configure Golden Gate through GUI as well. So Oracle Golden Gate Microservices was launched in 2017 in Golden Gate version 12CR3. In OGG version 12CR3. So 12CR3 means Golden Gate version 12CR3. Okay. Now, so basically what happened was, until Golden Gate version 12.2, it was only classic architecture. That is, you can only set up, manage, troubleshoot, configure Golden Gate through command prompt, GGSCI. So until 12.2, it was only classic architecture. Then from 12.2 to 21C. No, not 12.2, 12.3 to 21C. Both classic and microservices coexist. So basically you can pick and choose what you want to do. Whether you want to choose classic architecture or you want to choose microservices, if it's supported, you can choose whatever you want to do. Okay. Now, from 21C, that is 21C is the last version where classic architecture is available. So from 23 AI onwards, it's only microservices architecture. So Oracle Goldengate microservices is REST API based architecture, which allows you to set up, manage, troubleshoot, configure Goldengate through GUIs. It allows you to set up, manage, troubleshoot, configure Goldengate through GUIs. Well, so microservices, so now you have the option to choose what type of architecture you want to choose. So let me tell you one more thing. Classic architecture is available for both Oracle as well as non-Oracle database. Okay. It is available for both Oracle as well as non-Oracle database. However, microservices architecture until 19C, it was available only for Oracle database. In 21C onwards, the support of MSA, and microservices architecture is also called as MSA in short. So MSA stands for microservices architecture. So the support of MSA is now available for 5 databases, 5 more databases, which includes DB2, Postgres, MySQL, SQL Server, and Big Data as well. Okay. So Oracle Goldengate classic architecture is there from Goldengate version until Goldengate version 21C. Post 21C, it will be deprecated. It is command prompt based architecture and it is available for both Oracle as well as non-Oracle database. Post 21C, this is deprecated. Oracle Goldengate microservices architecture is available from Goldengate version 12.3 onwards. It allows you to set up, manage, troubleshoot, configure Goldengate through GUI and allows for better integration with cloud applications. It is available for both. It is available for Oracle databases only until 19C. From 21C onwards, the support for microservices has been extended to 5 databases, including MySQL, DB2, SQL Server, and Postgres database. Now, from 12.3 to 21C, classic and microservices both coexist, and you can choose which one you want to use. Okay. Now, one more product is there. Before I proceed to Veridata, one quick question I want to ask, and please type in the chat window. How many of you think with introduction of classic architecture, with introduction of microservices architecture, integrated architecture is deprecated? How many of you think that? Okay, you can type your answer in the chat. Okay, now another product of Oracle Goldengate family is Oracle Goldengate Veridata. So Veridata is a product, as the name suggests, Veridata stands for verifying the data. So Veridata is a product which is used to find data discrepancies between two objects, and it can repair those discrepancies as well. Say for example, on source, you have 10,000 records in a table. On target, you have 9,000 records in a table. So what Veridata can do for you is it can repair those discrepancies, and it can first of all find the discrepancies of those 1,000 records, and it can repair those discrepancies as well. Veridata is getting very popular nowadays due to these cloud migrations going on. So organizations want to confirm whether their data is in sync or not. So Veridata is getting very popular nowadays. So Veridata is another product in Goldengate family, which is widely used at many places. Along with that, if you're looking to for Goldengate certification as well. So Goldengate certification contains questions from classic microservices and Veridata. So 10 to 15% of certification questions, like 6 to 7 questions, comes from Veridata itself. Apart from that, Veridata is a product of Goldengate family. Now, the thing is, this Veridata is a product which which is used just for verification purpose. But the thing is, it doesn't require any downtime. Okay, it doesn't require any downtime. So there is a question, post 21C, can we not use classic architecture? No, we cannot use classic architecture post that. So guys, the major part with Golden Gate is, let me tell you, this Golden Gate is one of the most easiest product. And in the meanwhile, I want you to type in the chat window the answer to the question which I asked. How many of you think that with the introduction of microservices, integrated no longer exists? Okay. So I was saying that with introduction of this microservices, or with Golden Gate basically as a whole, Golden Gate is a product which works in the same way, whether it is working for Oracle database or it is working for non-Oracle database. The way it works for on-prem, in the same way it works for cloud. The way it works for on-prem database, in the same way it works for the way it works for standalone, in the same way it works for rack database. So there is no difference. As the session moves on, you'll understand. Don't worry. Lot of your queries will be answered. I want you to focus on present, what we are discussing, and trust me, you will be very much better what you are now. Okay. Okay. Now I see there is an answer from few that no, integrated no longer exists. Okay. Anant is saying integrated exists on MSA. Okay. Okay. So 21C classic architecture is no longer available. Yes. So whatever we are talking about, it is database version only. Sorry, Golden Gate version only. Guys, so the thing is, database and Golden Gate versions are same. So if database version is 18C, Golden Gate version is 18C, 19C, 19C, 21C, 21C, 23i, 23i. So whenever we are talking about version, it means that we are talking about Golden Gate version until and unless it is specified that it is database version. Okay. So yes, integrated exists. Okay. So I'll answer that now. So thank you very much, guys, for the response. Guys, like, I want you to make this session like interactive. Whatever I'm asking about this, like the question, try to be interactive. That makes session really very enjoyable and more learning as well. Okay, so there is a question. AWS DMS is a competitor of Oracle Golden Gate. Yes, you can consider it. It is considered because it is also a CDC tool, change data capture tool. But Golden Gate, of course, is very much in demand than any other competitors. Okay. So now, so let me answer that question for you, which I asked. So with the introduction of microservices, does integrated no longer exist? So you'll answer. Let me answer that. So basically, there are two types of architectures in Golden Gate. One is classic, and second is microservices. So, and along with that, there are different types of extracts and replicats in Oracle Golden Gate. So initially, when Golden Gate was introduced, there was only one type of extract, which was called as extract. Okay. Then in Golden Gate version 11.2.04, Golden Gate introduced integrated extract, which is a newer type of extract, which is now widely used. Hence, they renamed the existing type of extract to classic extract. Same way, initially when Golden Gate was launched, there was only one type of replicat, and that was called as replicat only. Then in Golden Gate version 12.1, Golden Gate introduced integrated replicat. Now, with the introduction of integrated replicat, they renamed the existing replicat to non-integrated or classic replicat. Then in 12.2, they introduced coordinated replicate. And then in Golden Gate version 12.3, they introduced parallel replicate. Now, parallel replicate is more advanced. Performance wise, it is much better. And it is it is introduced from Golden Gate version 12.3 onwards. So parallel replicate is of two types: parallel non-integrated replicate and parallel integrated replicate. So to use parallel non-integrated replicate, your database version should be minimum 12.1 and GoldenGate version should be 12.3. Parallel integrated replicate, to use parallel, so basically this non-integrated replicate when running in parallel mode is parallel non-integrated replicate. Then integrated replicate when it's running in parallel mode, it is called as parallel integrated replicate. So to use parallel integrated replicate, the minimum database version required is 12.2 and GoldenGate version required is 12.3. So integrated is basically type of extract and replicate. So why the confusion comes is GoldenGate used the same term for architecture, like classic architecture, and they renamed the existing type of extract to classic as well. So basically what did they mean by classic is traditional one. The existing one, like architecture, was classic. Then same way, the existing type of extract and replicate, they renamed it to classic. So microservices is type of architecture. However, integrated is type of extract and replicate. So under classic architecture, you can configure integrated extract or classic extract, classic replicate or integrated replicate or coordinated replicate or parallel replicate. Same way in microservices, you can prepare or you can introduce or you can configure integrated extract or classic extract. Same way you can choose out of the four replicates as well. Okay. So these are the different types of extracts and replicates which are present in Oracle Goldengate. So Oracle Goldengate architecture are of two types, classic and microservices. And then there is one more product in Goldengate family, which is called as Veridata. So Oracle Goldengate as a whole contains three parts: classic architecture, microservices, and Veridata. So if you are going out for any interview, any job support, anything related to Goldengate will come from either classic and or microservices and or Veridata. None of the question, query in Goldengate related stuff will go out of these three things. Okay. And then different types of extracts and replicates include integrated extract or classic extract. Then you have different types of replicate, which include non-integrated or classic replicate, integrated replicate, coordinated replicate, or parallel replicate. Okay. Now, what is the difference between integrated extract and classic extract? We'll discuss. Just to give you an overview as of now, but we'll be discussing during our next session. Integrated extract is more tightly coupled with the database. Classic extract is external to the database, but that part you will understand in the next session. We'll discuss that in detail. Now, there was a question, is AWS DMS is a competitor of Oracle Goldengate? So Perumal has answered, no, because DMS expects either one source or target should be in AWS. That's correct, Perumal, but still DMS is considered to be Goldengate competitor. You are correct. There are certain restrictions with each product. When we talk about SharePlex, when we talk about Actinity, each product has some restrictions. Same applies to DMS as well. But still DMS is considered, because see, we have to consider one thing. These products are change data capture tool product. Goldengate may have wider reach. It may support more number of database. It may support more number of environments. It doesn't matter. But the ultimate concept of each product is same. But why Goldengate is there? Because of performance, because of product owner Oracle, because of marketing, because of presence, because of Oracle database presence, because of security, and there are many other compelling reasons why Oracle is there. Another thing I'll tell you for this Goldengate, like there are a lot of experts available in the market who work on Oracle technologies. They may not be working on Goldengate, but they are working on different Oracle technology. But still, if you talk about DMS, if you talk about SharePlex, they are still alien, or not many people would know about that product. And another thing is, like personally, I have worked on each and every product, right? So I'll tell you the scenario for it. Goldengate is very much user friendly in comparison to these products. Okay. But yeah, still they are considered competitor of Oracle Goldengate because they all are change data captured. Okay. So in the next session, let me quickly tell you, in the next session, we are going to discuss about, so next session guys, we'll do tomorrow, same timing. Okay. So the next session will be 30th May as per EST timing and 31st May as per India time. So we are going to discuss in the next session Oracle Goldengate architecture, how data flow happens. So we'll be discussing how data flow happens in Oracle Goldengate. Then we'll be discussing about Goldengate certification metrics. So there was a question in today's session that is Goldengate 19C supported for Postgres database? So in the next session, you won't be answering this question to anyone else. You will be able to answer that question on your own. How? We'll discuss in the next session. Then in the next session, we'll discuss about how to download Goldengate binaries, how to install Goldengate binaries, and how to decide where to install Oracle Goldengate. So what is Goldengate Hub? What is local capture, remote capture? What is local apply, remote apply? We'll discuss that as well. Okay. So what are the steps to do prior to the session is create the virtual boxes. So those virtual boxes are available over the portal. So please create those virtual boxes if you haven't done them. And link to join the tomorrow's session will be shared or it will remain same as well. If I have to quickly recap what we discussed in today's session. So in day one training session of Oracle Goldengate Classic Architecture, we discuss about below. So we first of all discuss about introduction to Oracle Goldengate. So we discuss about Oracle Goldengate brief history. Then we discuss about there are two types of architectures in Goldengate. One is classic architecture and second is microservices architecture. Then there is one, so classic architecture is command prompt based architecture. Microservices is new REST API based architecture whose one of the feature is GUI. Then we mentioned or discuss about Veridata is another product which allows you to do data verification. Now, let me tell you one more thing. Veridata is a separately licensed product. Now, as per Oracle discussion, if you buy a Goldengate license, you can choose, like in single license, we get to work with both classic and microservices architecture. For Veridata, separate license is required. So basically, if you buy the Goldengate license, you can either choose classic architecture or microservices. That is what I'm telling you as per my experience with Oracle. But yes, if you have any question or if Oracle says something different than what I'm saying, then Oracle word hold true because the product owner is Oracle and licensing wise or money wise, they take care of it. Okay. Now Goldengate is near real-time replication and it supports heterogeneous environment. So we discuss about why Goldengate. Then we discuss about what are the different types of extract processes available. There are two types of extracts, classic extract and integrated extract. Then we discuss about different types of available replicats like non-integrated or classic replicat, integrated replicat, coordinated replicat or parallel replicat. Okay, so the next session will continue tomorrow, same time. Okay. Okay, so we are going to continue our session in the tomorrow, same timing. And if you have any question, you can ask.
Where's the link to download the BMs for tomorrow?
So the virtual boxes are available over the portal. So you can log into the portal. And when you go over the portal, there you can find.
That's you. Okay. Can you share the link of the portal, please, on the chat?
Okay, so if no questions are there, let us wrap up our session for today and we'll continue in the next session. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining today's session and we'll continue in the next session. One quick thing, one quick tip for these virtual boxes. When you are closing these virtual boxes, there are three options: save the machine state, send the shutdown signal, or power off the machine. Don't choose power off, send the send the shutdown signal. Just select save the machine state and click on OK. What will happen? your machine will state will be saved, and next time when you restart your virtual boxes, they will restart from the same point where you stopped them. So just select save the machine state and you will be fine. Okay. Thank you.